Welcome to T2T with Tom Pfeiffer and Ty Martin.
I mean, that's a good topic.
Yeah, it is. That is a good topic. The funny thing is, I used to have them, and I guarantee you did too.
Maybe when I was a kid.
Beginning, I bet you.
Maybe when I was a kid, like I'm talking middle school, maybe when I had them. But I have definitely since then I have not had iron head covers.
When I bought my first like quote unquote real set, I had iron covers. I had the matching, so I bought the Nike sling blades.
Okay.
And then I had the matching Nike head covers with them. And
Okay.
what's kind of interesting about the head covers was that it had the Nike swoosh on the the meat of the cover, but then on the top was like a clear window, and so you could see the number on the iron. But what sucked is that the sun would beat down on that plastic,
Right.
and then it would become brittle and like yellow and then crack.
Yeah,
I was
gonna say it probably turned yellow.
Yeah, exactly. So it was not that great of a design, but I mean it was cool. But after
that's just such a, I don't know if I want to say controversial thing, but some people make fun of people that have the iron head covers. Are you a noob or a new golfer that has them? Are you a veteran golfer that has them? Is it uncool to have? Is it cool to have? I mean, I can understand, if you're maybe new to the game and, you go out and drop $1,500 on a set of irons, you want to protect them,
Yeah.
I mean, really all they do is just prevent bag chatter. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all they do. I mean, other than that, they do absolutely nothing.
Well, here's a question. So since you wear glasses, do you have a glass case?
No.
Okay. See, and that's probably something to think about as well. Is like the glass case. Does that protect the glasses?
I have cases, but I never use them.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the last time. I guess I have.
I'm just doing a comparison. Like
no, I 100% get what you're saying. Like for me, like I have prescription sunglasses, and I don't wear them very often. But in my truck, I've got the drop down that I'll take my glasses off and put them up there and then put my prescription on. Or if we go out on my buddy's boat, I'll take my glasses off and put them in a case just to protect them in travel. But I mean, I guess fair comparison, but no, like when I go to bed, I just take them off, set them on the nightstand. That's the end of it. I don't ever hardly ever put my glasses in a case.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was just trying to think of it like something that would be similar. But I did have iron covers my first couple years when I bought my first set. So,
well, again, if you go out and drop $1,500 on a set of irons, especially on a golfer that maybe only plays, a dozen times a year, they definitely, they might only buy clubs once every 10 years or more.
Yeah.
They're going to want to protect their investment, and I can understand that. I don't think it's uncool to have them. Is it uncool now? Well, probably, but I mean, let's just be honest. It's probably not the cool thing to do, but it's all what it is. I mean, I guess it's like ceramic coating your vehicle. You spend X amount of dollars on a new vehicle and you want to protect the outside of it, so you get it ceramic coated.
Yeah.
I can make a case for it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it if someone has a cover. Now, the thing is that, again, slow play, man. If you're worried about slow play and you're taking off the cover and you're putting it back on, you drop the cover and you have to go back for it, things like that. I do wear 100% I have a putter cover and I put it on every time because I want to protect the face of that putter as much as possible, because any little dent or ding or whatever could really change the trajectory of that ball once you putt it, and you really want that face to be nice for that contact, and you do not want that ball to go offline at all.
No, you're right. My Scotty, the cover's on it all the time unless I'm using it. I have 2 alignment sticks that are in my bag that are just there all the time. I take the cover off and I just hang it right on the alignment sticks. I go putt, I come back, put it right back on. And with that is when I get to the first tee, probably 95% of courses I play, I take driver, and I'll take the head cover off and I'll throw it in the basket, and I won't put it back on until I'm done. But my 3-wood and my hybrid that have a cover, when I use it, I take the cover off, hit my shot, and then I put the cover back on. Do you leave your covers off the whole round for every club that you use, or do you what's your take on, like, what do you do?
The driver I leave off during the round just because it's the tallest club in your bag, and for it to get dinged or anything like that with other clubs is very unlikely. So I just leave it off just for time's sake. I really don't feel there's any benefit of having a cover on the club during a round, especially if you're driving in a cart. If I am pushing or carrying, which I usually do, I do have a cover on my driver the whole time. But if I'm riding in a cart, I take that driver cover off because it's not going to hit anything unless you're an idiot and you hit like the T marker or something like that after a bad drive or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So what about your 3-wood and hybrids, or your fairways and your hybrids? I shouldn't just can't make us cancel one out. But like for me, like I said, if I hit my 3-wood, then I'll take the cover off, put it on top of the alignment sticks, hit my ball, come back, put it back on, and go. And I do the same with my hybrid. Yeah,
so I always have a 3-wood cover and 5-wood cover. And I only use those clubs maybe once or twice a round. So they're always on. They're always on.
Okay. Well, I mean,
irons or no.
No. But cover. I mean, I've golfed with many people, been paired up with them. And when you get to the first tee box, the first thing they do is they take all their covers off and they put them all in the basket. And I guess another part of why I do it is I don't want one to fly out on, for whatever reason out of the cart. I mean, I don't walk hardly ever.
Yeah.
So
I walk all the time.
Yeah, so for me, you also play 9 holes a lot. I can't even remember the last time I played just 9 where it wasn't some type of a charity outing.
Yeah. I mean, I always walk 18 too, but if I get a deal and they throw in a cart with it, then I do the cart. But
I got too much shit in my bag. It's too heavy.
Hey man, you gotta start lifting a little bit. You can outdrive me then. But
no, that's fine. That's fine. I'll take my second shot closer. You can have the long drive.
Okay. But no, the 3-wood and 5-wood though, again, I mean, they're not the tallest club in your bag, so they are going to get that club chatter, so they're going to hit other clubs. So that's why I would leave those covers on. And again, the driver's higher than all the other clubs, so for that to hit a club, you would have to hit a huge bump right in a cart or something like that in order for it to even get dinged.
Right.
So I would feel comfortable, without a cover on that. 3-wood, 5-wood, or hybrid, I'd be worried because, irons are pretty close to the same length, especially if you have a 4-iron or something like that.
Yeah.
The putter, I always, I mean, like I said,
yeah,
I'll always have a cover on it.
Mine's always on too.
And then my cover also on my putter has a magnetic open and close. So what I can do is I can just stick my cover on the irons and it won't move anywhere because it's magnetic. Okay. And so I just leave it on one of my irons. And then when I get to my bag, I just pop it off and then put my putter in there. So
yeah, the Scotties are just Velcro, and that's why I put it on top of the alignment sticks. I mean, even if I get to put it back on, and I drive away, it's on the sticks. It's not going to blow off. But, talking about bag chatter, the irons, the iron hybrid combo I got Lindsay last year were the Cobra T-rails. And the bag chatter on those is Oh my goodness.
Is it like soft metal? Is that why?
I think so. And I emailed a couple different people about it, and they said that was one of the biggest design flaws on the T-Rail is that the bag chatter, it's just, it's bad. And, and she hates it because, like she looks at them and she sees, the chip or this and that. And, she's like, oh, these look like hell. And it's like, well, you're the only one looking at them. No one else is,
Yeah.
I
mean, I get it.
She's got she's probably at the end of this year, we'll probably move her away from the T-Rail. Like it's like a hybrid iron-ish, as she's gotten so much better in the last 2 years that we'll put her more into a cavity back iron as she's progressed.
Yeah. That's probably a good move to do that. So, also the club with the big chatter, the iron chatter, whatever you want to call it, club chatter. It probably maybe also brings out her confidence though too when she looks at it. And it's like all dinged up, and you're like, oh man, I have to use this thing, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe getting new irons, what a fiance should do.
You footing this bill, Tom?
But
yeah, I didn't think so.
You want to boost up her confidence, and she'll play really good golf, and then you don't have to worry about like.
Hey, I haven't had a single new club in almost 2 years, and she's rolling around with brand new. Well, I guess she's a year old now, but still.
But
you never know. The Cobra Tech X irons might be joining the bag here sooner than later.
Yeah. And I can get her head covers for her irons after you buy her a new set.
I already told her she's on the hook. She's on the line for the next set. I got her the first one. She can do the second one.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, unless she wants to go, buy me a set and then I'll buy her a set. I mean, I'd be okay with that.
So I was looking at that, and I'm surprised that women's golf clubs are actually pretty close in cost nowadays. Back in the day, they used to, have a huge drop off.
Yeah, they're pretty close in price. I mean, I know I got a hell of a deal on her hybrid iron combo set when I bought them last year. But they were, I mean, I think it was I'd have to think back. It was either a 4 and a 5 hybrid. No, it was a 5 hybrid and then 6 through gap wedge. And that retailed for like $1,300, I think, $1,200, right around there.
Yeah, I mean, that's
give or take. I don't remember what it retailed for, but I got them at a golf show, and I got them for $550. I mean, it was just ridiculous, the price that I got them for. Now, I mean, she looked at me and she's like, "Are you sure this is okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm never gonna find a set of clubs of this caliber for this price." It's like we're getting them. And then they had got her. Yeah, it definitely was 5 through gap wedge, because then we ended up getting her the 4 hybrid and the 3 wood, and they were buy one get one free at the golf show, and they were $100. It was $100, buy one get one free. I mean, it was her set of. She has a phenomenal set of clubs for the price that I paid for them all, and she hits them well. She likes them. We've had a few friends of ours that we've been out with that have hit them. I mean, I've even taken a few swings with them, and they feel really nice. They're definitely great for beginner to intermediate for women's clubs. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I was trying to get some women's clubs for one of my buddy of mine. His sister was getting into golf, and she has like a hodgepodge of just different irons, throughout the years. She's just been grabbing them. And we went to the golf show hoping for like a great deal. And there wasn't a whole lot of selection this year. I was surprised, to be honest, for women's clubs, the stuff that she wanted, because she was a very, very particular shaft and like gram weight. She swung a lighter shaft, and so we were trying to get that, and there was nothing near it, so we just had to say we couldn't find it. And so I just told her throughout the year, just check with her local golf course and ask around and see if she can get that lighter shaft. She's looking at like, I want to say it was like 85 grams, and all the other like retail, I want to say it was maybe even less than that, but
85 grams in a women's shaft is strong.
It's less. Maybe it's 65. I know it was a 5. It was something 5. Maybe it was 65 grams. It was something very light, and all of them had like 7. Like they were like 10 to 15 grams heavier than what she wanted, and so it was just like she was heaving and hawing about like, oh, maybe I should just go up 10 grams, but she really swung the club the best with the lighter shaft. So
I would email Bob over at Maple Hill and
Yeah.
find out what she wants. I mean, you know, that's where all Lindsay's clubs came from.
Yeah.
Was Maple Hill, and you know, I'm always referring people to them, and even myself buying clubs through them. So email him, just kind of see, but you know, it's.
I was hoping that we could go out through that she could get the clubs right then and there. That's why she
Right.
came.
Well, Maple Hill wasn't there this year at the Milwaukee Golf Show.
Yeah.
There was one guy that I talked to. I think his name was Eric. He was out of Kentucky or Ohio or something that was there. And my buddy that was with me, or the young gentleman that was with me, we got him a set of Cobra Aerojets, and that was a hybrid iron combo. And actually, I golfed with him yesterday in the Dells, and he seems to like them. It's a little bit of a transition from what he played before to what he's playing now. Before he played like a buy in a box set, and now that he's got his own driver. You know, my buddy was selling a Mizuno driver. He's got that. He likes it, but it's just there's a learning curve. He's playing a different shaft, the irons and the hybrids. It's different. I mean, he hits them well, but he's also 14 and he's still learning the game. But
it's also a transition for him too, like from just growing.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we got his set for I think 550, or I think it was 550. I don't know.
Anything around 500 nowadays is a great deal, man.
Yeah, if you can get a set of, I mean, I can take my Mizuno irons that I have 4 through gap wedge, and I mean, I could sell those easily for $700.
Yeah.
I mean, people aren't going to bat an eye on it, but they are also in great shape. But I mean, I was jumping on eBay when I was looking at buying the Tech X irons just to see what mine are going for. And I was like, okay, well, the beat up, they want 500, but a lot of times they were like 5 through pitching wedge for $500.
Yeah.
Well, I'm adding 2 extra clubs to it for 4 through gap wedge. So, I mean, you're getting a full, I guess 5 through pitching wedge is a full set to depending on what your bag looks like. But I mean, if you can get a full set brand new in the wrapper for that price, geez, jump all over that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think I paid, mine was like a Frankenstein set like I was saying before. Like I bought the shafts, then I bought the heads. And I think I spent like $600 for both together combined, so.
Speaking of sets of clubs, I was talking with one of my old coworkers, and this was just earlier today, and he asked me that he's like, what manufacturer would you go with? I'm looking for a new set. My clubs are minimum 10 years old, and they're all Nike. And I said, what do you got? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, well, send me a picture when you get home, blah, blah, blah. I said, unless you're sitting on a set of Victory Reds, don't change anything. He goes, oh, that's what I have, are Victory Red irons. And I'm like, no, just keep them. Just keep them. Those are, as long as they're the Victory Red VRS and not the Covert.
Yeah.
Just keep them. Maybe upgrade your driver depending on how you hit it and so forth. But yeah, so I'm waiting to see what he actually has for a set of clubs. But if he's got a 10, 12-year-old Nike set, I just keep it. just hang on to them and play them.
Yeah, I actually had the VRS Victory Reds cavity backs.
Yeah, those were amazing clubs.
Yeah, I played pretty well with them. I just needed a change, and then so I got the 716s or 718 cavity backs or CBs, Titleist. Had those for a little bit, and then I switched over to the AP2s, and I've been playing pretty decent.
Well, the reason why I told him to keep them was they are such a high quality of club, and he's only going to play maybe a dozen rounds a year at best.
Thinking about it, hindsight, like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I should have just kept them and then just bought the set. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because those are vintage now. I mean, you're not going to find Nike clubs anymore. Those are going to be, premium.
Correct. If you go on eBay and you look at the Victory Red irons, the only way that, like, there were a few sets out there that were in the States, but almost all of them were shipping from Japan. I'd say over 85% were coming from Japan. So you don't even know if you're getting a knockoff that's been remade a few years ago or what you're getting. And it was, I mean, I saw one that was 5-through pitching wedge and the guy wanted $500 for him. And that was in the States. Everything else out of Japan was much less, but I mean, the ones that were in the States, people wanted a decent amount for him. And I also don't know what his set was. I don't know if it's 4-through gap, 5-through pitching wedge, what it is. But I mean, it's like, I can't imagine right now buying a 10-plus-year-old set of clubs, 5-through pitching wedge, which is what, 6 clubs, for $500.
Yeah, I sold my set for $550. So they covered the set that I bought and then some a little bit. So then I bought a new putter with the extra money I had. So
yeah, I think he's even down to the Victory Red putter, at which I will definitely tell him, do not get rid of that unless somebody is willing to, give you, the moon and the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, you can sell the drivers and stuff, but don't sell the iron set and the putter, right?
That's what I told him, basically, was hang on to those and we can get him set up with, a newer driver and fairway and hybrid or whatever he wants to play. I mean, he didn't really come back to me and say what he's looking for a setup, but there's so many options. We've talked about the players going to 7 woods now versus hybrids and so forth, so whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, a lot of people are switching over those longer irons to hybrids, so so it's just very interesting to see the transition and the technology throughout the years, from irons to hybrids to woods and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things that I think it's going to keep on evolving. They're going to find where the center of mass is and bring it down lower so you can hit higher ball flights and things like that. So, and that's what the woods and the irons hybrids do compared to the irons. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Cool. So did you see the RBC today?
So yeah, I was just about to transition right into that. So the RBC Heritage, it was actually very exciting, especially in round 3. At the end of that, you had like 5 people right there. Either one could have won it. You could have had Justin Thomas, Andrew Novak. You had Hughes there. You had Brian Harmon. You had McNeely, you had Tommy Fleetwood, Sky Scheffler, Siwoo Kim, you had JT Poston right there, Sungji Im, right? I mean, you had all these guys fighting for a chance to win the RBC Heritage going into round 4. And who comes up on top? Justin Thomas, a guy that I picked. The guy that
on that first playoff, it was. I mean, if you want to put the perfect putt, that was it.
Yeah, I mean that thing was moving too.
Yeah, I know, and I think they said it was 21 feet, And it just that was perfect. I mean, right in the center, there was no edge. It just perfect putt. And after watching Rory win the Masters, and then JT, and thinking back over the years of just whether it's a playoff hole or the two guys are tied going into 18, or somebody's by themselves but they're tied, that celebration. And just the happiness between the golfer and the caddy and the family.
Yeah.
I think I almost feel like that is one of the best things I like about watching golf, is that celebration when they won.
Well, especially, I mean, it's exciting now. Like, you had 3 playoffs now. Not only, Rory and Rosie in the Masters, but you also had Siwoo Kim and Rory. So, I mean, you had these playoffs going into the final round, at the end. And now you have another one, Justin Thomas and Andrew Novak. I mean, dude, like, that's exciting stuff. It's like you make it or you go home, like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's the exciting part of some of the golf and the shot making that these guys can do. And then, like you said, at the end, that last putt, just going right in, and then the celebration, and then him hugging the caddy and his wife and kid. That was pretty amazing. His celebration was off the charts, though.
It was. Last week was pretty good. Seeing Rory's, his celebration, that was good to see. With Shane Lowry, and they're playing, together next week. And it's, I did hear a rumor that they are going to be paired together.
Justin Thomas and Rory?
No, Rory and Shane Lowry.
Oh, that's what you said.
Yeah. No, I did hear a rumor that they are going to be paired together. Whether or not that's true, who knows? But, it'll be, that's one where they should be mic'd up, because I would love to hear the banter back and forth between two best friends.
Oh, yeah.
Playing against each other in the first 2 rounds. I'm sure their commentary would just be out of this world.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then I guarantee during the round too that they're going to be talking about the Masters as well, especially the first couple of holes. Reminiscing. Like, hey, how'd it go? How does it feel to get that monkey off your back? And that celebration, like you said, of Rory's, you could just see all that relief, all that pressure off his shoulders as he's just, going to the ground, kind of like just like that release, and just basically just on the ground, and you could just feel it. And I almost shed a tear, like I was just so happy for him, man. I'm just like, I'm not like a huge Rory fan, but I wanted him to win that just so that he can get the pressure off of him. Because he's gone through so much with the PGA Tour versus Live Golf, and like you said, the Bryson DeChambeau, feud between both of them, social media and things like that, and not talking to him during the final round and stuff like that. And I still believe that he was just trying to lock in, because he knew that this might be the only chance for him to win the Masters, and so he needed to really focus on beating Bryson, and that was his enemy. He's I'm not going to talk to him. I have to destroy him, kind of thing.
He beat basically a 2-headed monster all in one day. A foe and also the Masters. So, cool for him. It's again, I'm with you. I'm not a huge Rory fan, but I was rooting for him all the way.
Yeah.
And like I said in the previous episode, I didn't want to Live Golfer to win it, but I kind of had my gut was telling me one was going to, and it damn near happened.
Hey, you know what? I just say, just keep on picking those Live golfers and just see what happens to them. Like Brooks Koepka, I loved it. Not making the cut. But I think we're always picking the wrong guy. So those who are like listening to us, the people that we pick for that tournament to win, pick them for the next tournament because I picked Justin. I picked Justin Thomas to win the Masters, and of course he had to win this tournament, just to show me up, kind of thing. He barely makes the cut in the Masters, So it's like,
anything that we pick, go opposite of that.
Go opposite. So
something different. I mean, I did an underdog pick yesterday.
Okay,
and it was an 8 pick underdog, and it was to win like $100, I think, or maybe 90. I don't remember what it was, but I got them all right except JT's fairway and regulation, and I was like, "You son of a!"
Yep.
I took the over, and he hit the under by 1. And it was just, it's when I do them, I try to pick more. I don't do like just 2 or 3. I try to do 5, 6, 7, 8, to stop me, because they'll throw a big like boost on it. You can put $5 on it. And, I did one for $5, I think a month ago, where it would have paid out $1,000, and it was all golf. And Tommy Fleetwood's the only one that didn't cover. He just had a terrible round. But I think it was Fleetwood. I don't remember. Maybe I gamble on golf too much.
I kind of like gambling on golf a little bit because I know some of the players, and I feel like gambling is still new to golf, and so when you do the tier system, that system, I think some of those kind of like I shouldn't say mediocre, but like those mid-tier players, they fall down to those lower brackets, and you can really snipe some really good players that usually do really well in tournaments.
But gambling on golf is very difficult because the conditions when you tee off at 7 o'clock.
That's something they have to think about.
Could be perfect, and you might pick 3 golfers that tee off between 7 and 8, and then you might take 3 golfers that tee off after 12, and the conditions can be completely different.
100%. Usually mornings are the best, I believe, because it doesn't dry out as much. The greens aren't fast.
Right.
And like you said, usually it's storms are coming in, things like that. So,
but yeah, I mean, gambling on golf is really tough. I mean, you almost have to pick the same groups or the same tee times.
Yeah.
I mean, when I have won larger contests, I have gone that route. And when I have changed it up, it's been not as lucrative. I mean, I'm not saying I'm winning thousands by any means, but I've done okay. I've won a couple $100 here and there.
Yeah.
But it definitely it will change from your 7:30 tee time to your 1:55 tee time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, especially weather and things like that.
Yeah. And and the wind speed and the weather, just everything in general, completely changes the round.
Yep. All right. So do you want to talk about the Zurich Classic coming up, like you said? The Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's see here. So last year, Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry won it. So they are going to be defending champions. So I actually had the team list here.
Okay.
So we have Rory and Shane Lowry. We have Wyndham Clark and Taylor Moore. We have Matt Fitzpatrick and Alex Fitzpatrick, so his brother. Matt and Alex is actually kind of interesting. Alex has been actually coming on. He's kind of following in the footsteps of Matt a little bit, Fitzpatrick brothers. So it's kind of interesting to see that.
Okay.
So that's something to look at. And again, I'm kind of interested in that pick. So whoever's listening, do not pick these guys until next tournament. Let's see here. I'm trying to look at all the other ones. Akshay and Carson Young are going to be paired up. That's going to be a very interesting group.
Which one?
The Akshay Bataya. How do you say it? Bataya? I think his name is. And Carson Young. That's going to be an interesting team right there. I can't always say his name. It's like Bataya. He's an interesting guy. He's actually a really, really good player, really good putter. Let's see here. Trying to think of anyone else that is popping off. Here's one. JT Poston and Keith Mitchell. Those names have been up in the top 10 the last couple of tournaments. So those two guys are teaming up. Aaron Ra and Thengali is teaming up. So that's going to be a very interesting team. Nick Taylor and Adam Hardwin. Again, those are interesting. Are you looking at any of these guys?
Am.
Has anyone Brent Snedeker and Ches Reeve? That's kind of interesting.
I'm gonna take the Woodland. I'm gonna take the Woodland.
What's that one?
Gary Woodland, Lee Hodges.
Okay, yeah, that might work.
No one bet on them. No one. Don't bet on them. Don't bet on them. It will not end well for you. You could just Venmo me your money just right out of the gate.
I mean, you could just Venmo me money just to Venmo me money.
Yeah, right. I mean,
just email me. I'll give you my Venmo.
What is it from Vegas Vacation? Hey, Griswold, how about you give me half your money? I take you out back, kick you in the seeds, and we call it a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the list. Luke Donald and Camilo Villegas, is that how you say it?
I think it's
Vegas.
Villegas. I could be wrong, but I mean
that's kind of an interesting group too.
We just butcher the shit out of these golfers' names.
Just
this shouldn't be T to T with Tom and Ty.
John
it shouldn't be T to T with Tom and Ty. It should be the Butcher Show with Tom and Ty.
The name butchers. But yeah, there's a couple good teams here. I would probably pick Rory and Shane.
What about Joel Dahman and Harry Higgs?
Yeah, no. I don't know.
Okay, all right. So everybody bet on that. We both said
right.
Nah. Okay, so everybody bet on those two. That's your meal ticket right there. Dahman and Higgs.
Dahman's he's interesting. He's really famous because of the Full Swing first season. He's like a media darling and huge fan player. So again, he hasn't really done a whole lot this year. I haven't really, so yes, bet on him. I'm not really high on him, so he's probably going to win it with his buddy.
I'm just saying, if we're both kind of they're going to shoot course record. I mean, it's going to be like, the talk of PGA for the next month. So
that's 100% correct. Oh man.
Oh geez. But
all right.
Yeah, did you play over the weekend?
I did. Well, so it's spring break now, and I told the wife, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna try and play as much golf as possible. So I played on Friday.
So you got the honey-do list as fast as you probably could.
Yeah.
Golf. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everything's done over here. So Friday and Saturday I played. So Friday I played at Browns Lake. It's a muni course. Shot at 74, so that helps. Four birdies.
Nice.
Then I shot a 84 at Oakwood. So I was not. I was hot and cold off the tee for that round. So I was actually kind of surprised that I shot 84 because I had I think I had 3 doubles. I have to look at my the Grint. The Grint I have linked to my WSGA.
Okay. Did they do that now? Because before you never could.
Yeah. So it's all linked. So now it just updates my handicap. And so after that 74, my handicap was a 4.8. And then after that, let's see. I'm going to look it up right now, actually. I'm sure it went up because of that 84 probably hit a little bit. So I'm looking it up. But like we said before, your handicap is based on basically your best rounds for the most part. So yeah, it's still 4.8.
Yeah, that 84 didn't affect it at all.
No, nope. So 4.8. I'll take that. So I did bring it down. So it was a 5.6. Now it's a 4.8.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, so I did not hit the ball well on Saturday. It was just, I think I was just tired. Like you said, I'm so used to walking 9 instead of 18. I walked 18 for Oakwood. Browns Lake, I had a deal. I used teeoff.com.
Okay.
So sponsor us, teeoff.com. No, just kidding. They were bought out by Golf Now about like 4 years ago. But they still have better deals than Golf Now. So if you guys want, look at teeoff.com, get on their email list, and then you get an extra 20% off of rounds. And so you can't beat that. So I think I played Browns Lake for $25 in a cart for 18.
Yeah, you can't. We ended up playing Coldwater Canyon in the Dells yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the post.
Lindsay and I did with Mason and his buddy, and shot an 82.
There you go.
I was putting well, but I wasn't making them. I was leaving myself tap-ins.
Yeah.
So like that part was nice. You know, I had some longer putts and just leaving myself tap-ins. But I mean, on the front 9, I parred 1, and then I triple bogeyed number 2, which is a par 3, but hit my ball left. I was under a tree. Instead of taking my medicine, I decided I was going to get fancy and clipped a tree branch into the bunker, 2 to get out of the bunker because, well, yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Totally duffed my third shot and hit the brim and rolled back in, and you know, I walked away from that. But then I parred the next 4 holes. So,
okay.
You know, it's like I bounced back from it, but it was just one of those rounds. I played well. I felt good about it. Had a lot of really good shots, but just didn't make those scoring shots when I needed to. So, but I cannot believe how much they cut down up there.
Yeah, it's crazy. All these courses, they cut down so many trees, and I'm sure it's probably the same over by you.
Matt told me that they cut a lot down last year in the fall, but when I got there yesterday and saw just all the brush and just, you know, and it's not brush that affects, you know, your gameplay. It was just, you know, opening up the course. Holy cow. I couldn't believe it. So if anybody's listening, if you go up and play Coldwater in the Dells, you will see a massive transition. They cut down a ton of trees and brush, and you know, I'm excited over this year to see how it matures.
Yeah.
So being a little further up north, they had more snow, they had more cold. You know, it definitely has not matured yet. There's still some rough spots here and there, but you know, you give it that course in a few weeks with good sun and what they're doing, that course is gonna be great.
Yeah, I feel the same. Usually in springtime, the grass is still kind of dormant. It's not really filling in, you know, especially in the rough. There's some areas where, you know, you got rough, and then there's a patch with nothing, so your ball sits really down into the rough, even though you're only like a foot away from the fairway. Sometimes the fairway also isn't all the way grown in either. So, like you said, give it 2 weeks, and I guarantee most of these golf courses are going to be in great shape. The greens are actually in really good shape. Browns Lake, the greens are very slow. I don't think they cut yet. But they, you know, you can see that, you know, it's probably over the winter. Oakwood definitely cut. So it was a little bit different putting wise for me. I mean, that's why I didn't putt so well. But yeah, I mean, I had one 3-putt for my Oakwood round. So I'm just looking at my stats right now.
I will say the difference between Madison courses and the Dells course, it was quite a bit different. But again, they had more snow than we did. They were colder than we were. It's and the course that we play a lot here is south of Madison, and they actually even got less snow than what we did in Madison. And it was night and day difference, but I mean, that's no fault to them. That's just Mother Nature being Mother Nature.
Yeah.
So, and then, I mean, weekend of the Milwaukee Golf Show, you got what, 6 inches of snow the day after?
Yeah. So closer to the lake, we had like six or so inches.
Yeah. I remember you sent me that picture of you shoveling, and I'm like, we don't have
nothing.
I think we got a little bit of rain, and that was it.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were expected to get like 1 to 2 inches, and it was like 6 inches. So it was crazy. It was just lake effect, So
yeah, we definitely don't get that over here.
No.
So, but yeah, courses. We're still in April, and they just haven't had enough sunlight yet, and they just haven't matured. So keep that in mind when you're out playing a course, especially if it's a new one. Go back in a month or two and give it another shot if it's not in the greatest shape, and then give your review, because right now there's a lot of courses that they're still getting up to their potential.
Yeah. I always say too, like if you're playing a new course or even the same course, throughout the season, give it at least 3 tries. Don't give it like a negative review or even a positive review on your first, go around. Wait until like the 3rd time that you've played that course and say, okay, this course is, I've seen it, multiple times now. And I think a lot of managers and a lot of superintendents would love you if you gave courses more of a shot than, I went to Oakwood and, it was just terrible and service was awful and stuff like that. It might have been an off day, like it's just, golf courses, have good and bad days. So,
well, and again,
that review, give it a shot, give it another shot, and then okay, now you can write that review like, oh, this was a great experience. My first time was not that great, but the last 2 were just amazing, experiences. So just take it what it is.
Well, a week and a half ago, I was over in Spring Green to look at a project, and the condo happened to be on House on the Rock.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I've heard good, I've heard bad. They weren't even open yet. The plastic was still on the tee box signs. I mean, it wasn't open. There was nobody mowing. There wasn't grounds. I mean, there might have been somebody driving around picking up sticks, but I mean, they had all that terrible weather go through. And, I looked at the course. I'm like, wow, this is extremely beautiful. But I looked at it and I was like, dude, I don't know. But it's after I went, I don't know. I was like, they're not even open yet. They haven't done anything with it yet. It just, I totally judged the book by the cover on that one. And right after I made my comment to myself, I was like, that probably wasn't right. So I'm looking forward to getting over there this year, once they're open and they're running and they're going.
Yeah.
I've talked to quite a few people. And then the condo association guy that I was talking to, he was telling me that he's like, just, give it a little bit of time. They had all that really, really bad weather go through through late winter, and it's delayed them from opening. But they're basically in a valley, or it's
yeah, it's harder. Yeah,
it's a lot harder to. It's its
own ecosystem. Yeah,
correct. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going over there and playing there this year, and giving full review, because I've heard a lot of yes and no on it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it.
That's something that we have to talk about too. Is that we're probably going to start doing course reviews and things like that. So if you guys are listening and a course that we should review, let us know, email us, or write in the comments, and
For sure.
we'll see it and we'll do a course review. We'll probably go play it and then review it right away. Like I said, you should give it at least 3 shots, but sometimes we probably won't be able to do that. But I think we played enough golf that we could probably, judge a course by, maybe play it once or twice or so. So again, and it's maybe a course that we've played it a million times and we have a lot of input and opinions on that course as well. Just give us any recommendations, and I'm sure we would love to review that golf course. But we are going to start our series on reviewing courses. Also, something that I want to start doing as well is actually interviewing courses and their golf pro or the manager of that course, giving them a little platform to basically brag about their course, because I don't think courses around this area, especially in Wisconsin, they don't have the opportunity to say, hey, come to our course. This is an awesome course. These are the things that we offer. And you'll be surprised. Maybe your local golf course does offer, like I said, club fittings, lessons, repair. I was talking to a golf pro the other day, and he said they're exactly like a Golf Galaxy / PGA Superstore. They can literally get you any type of club that you need, and they can fit you and all that stuff. And it's just like a large retail store. But when you go into the pro shop or the golf shop, you don't see that huge section like you would see in the Golf Galaxy or wherever. It's a little bit smaller, but they can get you all those clubs that those retail stores can. So it was just very eye-opening and interesting to talk about those things. So look forward to that. Those two things that, are coming up in these newer episodes.
And the other thing is there are a lot of smaller smaller courses that they might work with a PGA Superstore or a Golf Galaxy or a local fitter, that they allow that pro from the course to go in and use their facilities because they've teamed up and worked together.
Yes.
So there also is that avenue. So
Yeah,
don't be afraid to ask when you go to a course. I mean, there's the only stupid question is the one you don't ask.
Exactly. And also ranges too. So I'm going to be reaching out to other golf ranges, not just courses, but the ranges around my area, and asking them as well. So I'm going to be interviewing those owners and things like that. And they offer, like you said, local brands coming in, like TaylorMade, trying to think, Ping, Cobra, all these other
Mizuno, Strixon. I mean,
yeah, all these different fitters, so they come in and fit you right there, and you can order those clubs right away too. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, don't be afraid to ask. I mean, whether you're at just a range or whatever golf course you're at, just ask them.
Yep.
And as Tom said, we'll start doing some course reviews. So people that are watching, by all means, feel free to put in the comments if there's a particular course you'd like us to take a peek at. I mean, it's not going to break our heart that we have to go play a new course.
Unless it's like in the middle of nowhere, like way up north, and it was like 8-hour drive or something like that. That might be
fair enough. Okay, all right. That one might be a little challenging. Listeners, try to pick something in the Madison, Milwaukee-ish area for us.
Yeah, 2-hour drive. I'll be willing to take a look. See.
Yeah, for sure.